So good afternoon. Today's revision class for the Unit 5. The topic is under revision is classification of the buildings. So the Unit 5 will be having three components. First component is principles of building planning. So already we discussed. Second component is building bylaws. We discussed and we revised the building bylaws. Third component is classifications of the buildings. So in this topic, so we are going to be covering that the classifications of the buildings as per NBC National Building Code, depending upon that the occupancy and classifications of the building based upon that the construction materials are the based on the construction itself. This is more important. So unless otherwise you don't know the classification, we cannot go for the planning and we cannot go for the design and analysis. So that's why. So if you go for the classification of the buildings, you understand that what is the type of the building, then according to that one the function is going to be vary. If you take the, for example, if you take the residential building, utility and the functions will be different. You take the educational building, utility and functions will be different. You take the commercial building, so utility and functions will be different. You take the assembly building, utility and functions will be different. So like that, first we had to be identify or we had to be classify that what is the type of the building comes under the which classification. Based on that one we are going for the planning has to be completed. Then after the planning we'll go for the design and the construction. So that's the thing we are going to covering in this topic is classifications of the building. There the two major classifications will be there based on the occupancy, based on the construction. So first we will discuss about the based on the occupancy. So the types of the buildings according to National Building Code SP Special Publication 7 1970, classifying the based on occupancy: Group A residential building, Group B educational building, Group C institutional building, Group D assembly building, Group E business building, Group F mercantile building, Group G industrial building, Group H storage building, Group I hazardous building. Each and every building or every classification will be having specific function. So that we are going to be discussing about one by one. First comes under the Group A residential building. Residential building, all of you are aware of that one, all of you know that one. The purpose is for the cooking and cooking and as well as dining and as well as taking the rest. So the accommodation is provided for the normal residential purpose with or without cooking or the dining or both facilities. So that the purpose we are going to be serving in the residential building, or we can say that the purpose is going to be fulfilled for a building that we are going to be categorized as a residential building. Then what are the different various sub classifications will be there in the residential building? So normally we are having that the residential building or the bungalow or it is going to be called duplex, all that is going to be comes under the residential buildings. But depending on that, so various sub classifications are there. So the lodging or rooming houses, lodge also is going to come under residential building. So we are in which lodges rent one or more rooms for one or more nights and sometimes for extended periods of the weeks, month and years. So lodging, we can able to see that the lodging and boarding. So lodging is going for the resting purpose. Boarding is we are going to be preparing for the food and as well as serving the food. But the boarding and lodging comes under that. The also is going to comes under residential building. Total sleeping accommodation is not more than 15%. And second sub classification is one or two family private dwellings, which is occupied by members of single family with cooking facilities. Total sleeping accommodation is not more than 20%. So the 20% they are going to be cooking and taking the rest single family. That is also that we are going to call private dwellings. That also comes under residential building. Dormitories. So group of sleeping accommodation is provided with or without dining facilities for persons who are not of same family. So different families, we can able to see that in railway stations, almost we can able to see that the dormitories, we can able to, dormitories are available in the railway stations mainly, that we are going to be called as the sleeping purposes, taking resting purposes. Sometimes maybe dining is going to be provided or there is no dining will be provided, also comes under the residential building. Then apartment houses, that is the group houses in which living quarters are provided for more families living independently of each other with cooking facilities. Cooking and resting facilities are there, that is the apartment houses. Nowadays, we are going for multi-story apartments coming under the residential building. So detached are the detached are the individual houses, apartments, multi-story apartments, and the bungalows, and as well as the duplexes all comes under this residential houses. Then the hotels, providing sleeping facilities with or without dining for more than 15%. It's generally used for commercial purpose So Burj Khalifa is an example of luxury hotel in the world. That is the hotels we are going for the boarding and lodging facilities. That is also comes under the residential classification, residential buildings. Next group B is educational buildings. Here the prime objective is that when we are going for the education, educating that the people, that is the colleges, schools are coming under this one. Here the restriction is 8 hours per week. Using of education purpose more than 8 hours per week. Education purpose more than 8 hours per week is going to be called as educational buildings. The exclusively we are going to be using for education, that is the study purposes, schools, colleges, degree colleges, comes under colleges, comes under degree colleges. Schools come under primary and higher schools. High schools also comes under this classification. Next group C is institutional buildings. So institutional buildings comes under that. So we are going for the various categories are there in this one, various subclassifications are there. This type of building covers the medical for treatment purpose to serve the people. This type of building provides sleeping accommodation in different types, that is the lodging, private single rooms. Institutional buildings is medical for treatment purposes, as well as we are going for the lodging facilities we are going to be provided. What are the examples coming under this institutional buildings? First one is hospitals and sanitarias coming under the institutional buildings. Number two is subclassification is custodial institutions. Custodial institutions is that is old age people are the rest homes comes under the custodial institutions by the people is going to be supervising some by the old age people. This type of institutions are like rest homes for old age people. People care, proper care will be taken by the nurses regarding their illness. These are like nursing homes. Nursing homes are the nurses will be taking care of that one. Some people is going to be taking care of that one. That is going to become some of the custodial institutions. Next, the third classification, subclassification is penal institutions. Coming under law, coming under law, that is going to be called as jails. Coming under law is going to be called as jails. Or mental hospitals are coming under this category, penal institutions. This type of institutions covers mainly those who are violate the rules against the Indian Penal Code. It covers those who are mentally abnormal. Mental hospitals, jails, mental hospitals are under this type of institutions. Penal institutions examples are jails and mental hospitals. Then group D is going to be called assembly buildings. Here we can able to see that the term itself is going to be giving meaning assembly. We are going to assemble for various purposes. The purpose is going to be called as entertainment, social purpose, traveling, or religious or praying purposes, and a similar purposes is going to be, we are going to be gather places that we are going to be called as assembly buildings. What are the places? Are restaurants, theaters, bus stands, railway stations, temples for religious purpose, traveling railway stations and bus stations, theaters, entertainment, restaurant for the entertainment purpose, conference halls, the exchanging of the views, theaters, auditoriums, exhibition halls, dance halls, libraries, museums, etc. coming under these assembly buildings. In this, some sub-classifications are there. Buildings are having high raised platform using that for performance entertainment with a fixed seating capacity of 1,000 persons and above. That is our exhibit theaters and exhibition halls. Comes under this subcategory. Already we discussed. So one is cinema theater, another one is going to be called a dance or exhibition halls. Comes under that theater performances by using the dance theaters and exhibition halls. So the sub-classification will be buildings using purpose same as D1 sub-classification, raised platform with seating of less than 1,000 persons. Previous case 1,000 persons, more than 1,000 persons are then we are going to call it exhibition and theaters. Now here we are going to be called as less than 1,000 persons. D3 sub-classification. These buildings are rooms used for assemble and conducting meeting, entertainment purpose, but with temporary seating of more than 300 persons. The limited capacity is 300 persons are going to be engaged for the meeting or the conferences or the entertainment purpose. It also having raised stage or the platform, dance halls, club halls, conference halls in hotels and libraries. This is a subcategory: dance halls, club halls, conference halls in hotels, libraries. For education purpose, which are used less than 8 hours in a week. For education purpose, which are used in less than 8 hours for a week in the libraries, that comes under the assembly buildings. Next purpose same as D3. So there is assemble for meeting and entertainment purpose with seating less than 300 person. One is more than 300%, another one is going to be less than 300%. And then D5, this is the type of, this type is out of building type and outdoor assemble. Outdoor entertainment we are going to be giving for the gathered people is the gardens, parks, stadia, circus, review halls. There is military events connected in the ground. So these are also comes under the assembly buildings. More here is going to be the priority is going to be given for the entertainment, gardens, gathering, public gathering, parks also for the public gathering, stadium for the sports entertainments, circus. So this is also the entertainment purpose and review halls. These are all comes under the assembly buildings. Next group E is going to be called as business buildings. So here the term itself is going to be giving as meaning business transaction is going to be taking place. Example, banks, post office, court, and library are the examples. Business, some type of transaction in terms of the books we are going to be provided, or we are going to record the, we are going to be used for the purpose. So that is going to be called business buildings. These buildings are used for account transactions and keeping books and the record of the people. Banks, we are also having the account transactions will be there. Post office account transactions, court, other purposes, civil and criminal cases. There we are going to be discussing and we are going for that. And library are the examples of the business building. Then group F is mercantile building. Mercantile is going to be called as, once again it is going to be called as purpose of consuming goods. These buildings are used for purchasing purpose of any consuming goods. Mercantile is going to be called as transaction in the form of purchasing of the goods materials. Examples coming under this mercantile buildings, you know that the stores, markets, general stores, shopping malls, medical stores, all coming under this mercantile building. Here, exchange or we are going to be called as purchasing of the goods is going to be possible in an enclosed building that we are going to call as a mercantile building. Then group G is industrial building, group H is storage building, group I is hazardous building. So industrial building. So the industrial building for industrial purpose, we can say industrial building. The buildings used for producing industrial goods or products are referred as industrial buildings, such as factories and workshops coming under industrial building. Industrial activities, preparation or we are going to be manufacturing of the goods and the products we are going to manufacturing in the factories and workshops comes under the industrial buildings. Then storage and hazardous. Storage buildings. The buildings used for the storage of various products are referred as storage buildings, such as cold storages and godowns. Here, the entire activity or the purpose or the objective is that one, we are going to be storing up of different materials. So, different materials without fragile and without spoiling that one, we are using the cold storages and godowns. Comes under the storage buildings. Main objective is that one, we can storing that the materials with and safeguarding that the materials. Then last one is going to be called hazardous buildings. Means we can able to see that exclusively hazardous means it is going to be called explosives. We can able to store that the explosives for that purpose exclusively. For that we are going to be called as hazardous buildings. The buildings used for the purpose of storage and handling of highly combustible materials are referred as hazardous buildings, such as buildings used for the storage of sulfur dioxide, ammonia, carbon dioxide, etc. Exclusively is dynamites or explosives that we are able to store and handling cause hazardous buildings. This is about the already whatever we discussed is going to be called the classification of the buildings based on the occupancy. Now the second classification is classification of buildings based on type of construction. So the type of the construction or type of the construction material we are going to be using, the different buildings are going to be different classifications are there. So the based on the type of the construction, buildings are classified into 5 categories. One is fire resistive buildings type 1A, 1B. Second one is non-combustible buildings type 2A, type 2B. Third one is ordinary buildings type 3A and type 3B. Classification 4, heavy timber buildings type 4, and fifth classification is wood framed buildings type 5A and type 5B. First one is what is the fire resistive building? The term itself is going to be giving us fire resistance or so resistance to fire, and we are going to be provided inside the building, then we are going to call fire resistive buildings. Exclusively, so the more fire accidents is going to be taking place in that areas, the building is going to be constructed by the fire resistive materials. Entire building is going to be resisted by the fire resistive materials. These type of buildings are generally high raised and the stoutest, means a heavy construction of all, which are usually of more than 75 feet tall. They are constructed of concrete and protected steel coated with fire resistant material, because it is a fire resistant buildings which are designed to hold the fire. This type of buildings are generally residential and industrial buildings. Residential and industrial buildings comes under the industrial, or the commercial buildings come under the fire resistant buildings. The fire resistance is valid only for a specific time depending upon the type of construction. Let us have a look at the resistive time for industrial and residential buildings. How much time it is going to be resisted without taking fire. So that is going to be given for industrial buildings 3 hours. All the exterior walls is going to be resisted up to 3 hours. Structural frames, beams and columns, all those things comes under the 3 hours. 2 hours for floor and ceiling assembly, and the 1.5 hour for roof protection. So these are the how much time that is going to be protected from the fire for industrial buildings is exterior walls for 3 hours, 3 hours for structural frames, 2 hours for floor and ceiling assembly, and 1.5 hour for roof protection. Then residential buildings, how the fire protection is going to be giving for the various elements. 2 hours for exterior walls, 2 hours for structural frames, 2 hours for ceiling and floor separation, and 1 hour for ceiling and roof assembly. So this is for the residential buildings. It means that according to the time given above, the buildings is resistant towards fire, and after the specified time, it must be superviewed by the fire control authorities. Up to this specific time, 2 hours of the time, it doesn't catch fire. Beyond that point, it may be chances are there it is going to be catching the fire. That's why it has to be superviewed by the fire control authorities. Then non-combustible buildings. Type second classification is the non-combustible buildings. So these buildings are generally the new buildings and remodels of the commercial structures. Combustible means it is going to be catches fire very easily. Non-combustible means up to a certain extent it is not going to be catching. The walls and roofs are constructed of non-combustible materials. The walls are reinforced masonry and the roofs are metal structures of the members. That is, the walls and roofs are provided by non-combustible materials. The top of the roofs are covered with lightweight concrete, etc. Protected non-combustible common in school buildings and unprotected non-combustible common in commercial buildings. Like common in school buildings, how many hours it is going to be protected? By 1 hour for exterior walls, 1 hour for structural frames, 1 hour for floor, ceiling, and roof protection. Unprotected non-combustible. These buildings are constructed of non-combustible materials, but these materials have no fire resistance. Commercial buildings doesn't have no fire resistance. Then type 3 is going to be called as ordinary buildings. So ordinary buildings, we are not going for the fire resistance. These buildings are maybe of old or newer constructions. They have non-combustible walls and wooden roof. Older constructions may have unreinforced masonry and have conventionally framed roof, while newer houses have lightweight roof systems supported by RCC masonry or tilts of nowadays. The walls and the roofs are 1 hour fire protected. Walls and roofs are 1 hour fire protected for the ordinary buildings. Ordinary buildings are of the other type also, which is unprotected combustible. Walls are of wooden roof and the floor assembly is not protected against fire. So by walls, wherever the wooden materials we are going to be using for the various structural elements, so it is going to be unprotected by the unprotected. These buildings are frequently found in warehouse districts of older cities. Specifications is 2 hours exterior walls, no fire resistance for structural frame, floor, ceilings, and roofs. Non-combustible buildings. Heavy timber is going to be called as type 4. The term itself is going to be giving with the heavy timber we are going to be using in the construction. Every chances will be there. Protection is very high risk. These buildings are were most commonly built before 1960, when bolts and metal plates were used as connectors. It utilizes large dimensional lumber for structural members and interior elements. These buildings hold up well under fire conditions. These buildings hold up well under fire conditions. It is critical that as these buildings are often poorly maintained or have termites, The weathering issues contributes the earlier than expected collapse. Every chances will be there. The fire resistance is going to be risk in the case of the heavy timber. Wood is going to be used for almost all the structural elements. To qualify the structure, all wooden members must have minimum nominal dimension of 8 inches. Specification is 2 hours for exterior walls of the production will be there. 1 hour structural frame or heavy timber. Heavy timber floor or ceiling or roof assemblies. Last type or the classification is wood framed buildings. This type of construction is found in many modern homes. The walls and roofs are made of combustible materials, most commonly wood. Combustible. It will be catches fire very fast, very quick. It has few negative characteristics. It is not highly fireproof as it is made of wood. That is the disadvantage is there. It is not strong enough to resist major wind events such as tornadoes and hurricanes. Every timber frame home structure made of few basic components that the studs, joists, and rafters. Studs are the vertical wooden members within the walls. Joists are the horizontal wooden beams that support the floors. Rafters are the sloping wooden beams that support the roof. It is also protected wooden frame and unprotected wooden frame. Protected wooden frame is 1 hour exterior walls, 1 hour structural frame, 1 hour floor or ceiling roof. Unprotected wood frame is that it is used commonly at a single family homes and garages. They are often have exposed to wood, so there is no fire resistance. Is there unprotected wood frame? The studs is the vertical members, joists is the horizontal members as acting as a beams, and rafters is going to be called sloping members.